Winners, winners, winners. If you want to make money betting the Week 9 college football slate, we have 10 of our best bets for you. Let's get to it.
All right, into the best conference in college football, the Big Ten. Personally, my favorite conference as well. Michigan at Michigan State. Harbaugh has made a living off losing the big game. He is terrible record against ranked teams. The offense and defense in this game are so similar. I don't know who to take, but that is why I'm taking Michigan State plus the points at home. I want Michigan to lose in the most embarrassing fashion. I want them to lose horrifically. I want them to lose on that punt that goes backwards like they did to Michigan State multiple years ago. I like Michigan State at home here. Hopefully it's too big for Harbaugh. Hopefully it's too big for the Wolverines. Michigan State +4.
I'm taking the Baylor Bears -3 at home against Texas. These are two run-first offenses, but the difference is Texas' defense sucks. It is terrible. I think Baylor runs all over them at home here and takes care of business and notches another big win to their belt in conference play.
Next, we're going to the best team in college football. That is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Penn State is coming off a debilitating 9-overtime loss to the shithead Illinois Fighting Illini. Brett Bielema told his team they were the worst football team. He said all 10 linemen were horrific and they won in 9 overtimes. How can you not score a 2-point conversion, 7 tries against this horrible team? Penn State, that look-ahead game for them was obviously too big for their little brains at State Penn. Ohio State is in a flex their muscle spot. They have looked fantastic since our loss to Oregon. I think they're just a better team. I'm taking Ohio State -18.5.
I'm taking TCU, Kansas State over 58.5. The Horned Frogs, I wanted to back them in this game, but Gary Patterson's program here has some issues going on. Zach Evans looks like he's entering the transfer portal, leaving the program. He was a beast of a running back for this offense that's 5th in the country in yards per play. So I'm not going to take them on the spread, but I do like the over because TCU's defense has been terrible this season. I think both these teams put up a ton of points. And if I can get less than 60 points in a Big 12 game, I got to take it.
Next, we're going to go to the #1 ranked team in the nation. This is Georgia at Florida in Jacksonville. People, don't forget that, all right? I know Georgia's the best team. They're ranked high, but I think Florida can keep this game very close. If Emory Jones plays, this feels a lot worse. Anthony Richardson is a very good quarterback, and I think they get him into the game at some point here. Florida is 7th in the country in yards per play and 1st in rushing yards per attempt. Obviously, the Georgia defense, world beaters. They're so good. But I think Florida's offense is good enough to keep this game close. Give me the points +14.
I'm backing Dana Holgerson and the Cougs -1 at home against the undefeated Ponies from SMU. Look, offensively, things have been incredibly easy for SMU this season. Their last 5 games, they've played defenses that are outside of the top 100 in sack rate. And guess what they're walking into in Houston? The 3rd-ranked team in getting after the quarterback in sack rate this season. I think offensively, the big plays are going to be very tough for Tanner Mordecai in this offense. And I think being at home here is a huge difference maker for this defense in Houston. So I'm backing the Cougs -1 at home.
Little late night SEC action for you here. Ole Miss at Auburn. Ole Miss has gone through the gauntlet their past 4 games. They had Bama, Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU. LSU's maybe not the gauntlet, but at the end of that, it's a pretty tough game. Still won that one. Matt Corral is a little banged up. I think this is a spot where Auburn and Bo Nix figure it out. They have kind of figured it out all season, but I think they beat down on this Ole Miss team. As much as I dislike Bo Nix, he's been a good, competent quarterback this season. Give him Auburn at home, -2.5, night game, lock that in.
I'm taking the Golden Bears +1.5 at home against Oregon State. Look, in the Pac-12, it seems like every time we talk about a team being good, they fall flat on their face. It happened with UCLA. It happened last week with Utah. I think it happens here with Oregon State. They're 5-2 on the season. There's been some chatter about them maybe making the Pac-12 championship game. I like Cal. They're a solid team. They play very hard. They gave Oregon a tough time last week, or that was 2 weeks ago, I guess now. I think they hang around in this game, and being at home is a big difference for them. So give me the Golden Bears to knock off Oregon State to get their 3rd win of the season.
Finally, we head to the ACC. Duke at Wake Forest. Wake obviously scored 70 points and gave up 56 to Army last week, but I think this over is the trap of the century. Take this under 70.5. Duke is not a good football team. They really can't score that many points. I think they'll struggle to put up points against this Wake Forest team, an undefeated Wake Forest team. When was the last time we saw that this late in the season? I just don't think it's going to go over. You think Wake Forest will do this again? I can see them putting up 45 points, but I can't see Duke scoring more than 21. I don't think this is a good spot for Duke. I don't think this is a good spot to take the over. Trap game, look out. Don't fall for it.
Avery told me I have an affinity for the Pac-12. I probably agree with him in this. I'm taking Washington plus 2.5 on the road at Stanford. Stanford throws the ball a ton. They don't run the ball really much at all. This is a really, really bad matchup for the Cardinals here because Stanford is third in the country in opponent yards per passing play. I think that's a huge difference in this game. Washington's been a tough defense all season. I think they find a way to get it done here and likely win this game on the road at Stanford.
All of our lines are brought to you by our partners at MyBookie. Use code OWNERSBLOCK for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. See you, boys.